Hello, Year 6. Welcome to another week of home learning. I hope you had a lovely weekend, refreshed your batteries, ready for another week of learning. Now, I hope you got on well last week with doing your multiples and factors. You enjoyed the first video which I put together for you. This is my second one. Now, this week we're going to be looking at using a written method for multiplication, and we're going to also be looking at multiplying decimals as well with a written method. So let's have a look at a question that you may get asked. 1352 times 23. Now we can use a written method to work out the answer here. We need to make sure that the bigger number is on the top and our smaller number is underneath, but we need to make sure that the digits are under the correct place value column. It's always really good to put your symbols of what you're actually working on to remind yourself at each stage. We're going to be starting with the ones and multiplying it by each of the digits, and then moving on to the tens and doing the same. So let's have a look then. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. So we put the 5 ones here and we carry over 10 here. Now remember to put them at the top, because later on when we're adding the two columns together we may get a bit jumbled. Next one, 3 times 3 is 9, plus the 1 is 10. So a 0 here, cross out the 1 and carry over 1 there. 3 times 1 is 3, plus a 1 is 4, and we can cross that out. Now, if you remember when I taught you at the beginning of the year this, we're now going to be multiplying by 10. Therefore, we need a place value holder. And it's a good idea just to use a different colour pen or pencil so you remind yourself to put that place value in. Otherwise, if you don't, you won't get the answer right. So let's have a look at the tens column now. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. And we can carry a 1 over above the previous one. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 2 times 1 is 2. Now we multiplied 23 by that number now. Now we've got two columns. We now need to add those columns together. Again, put your symbol what you're doing now, because you're changing from multiplying now to adding to get your answer. 6 plus 0 is 6. 5 plus 4 is 9. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 7 is 11. So we can carry our 1 over underneath here because we're now adding. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So our answer to 1352 times 23 is 31,096. Now, we're going to multiply using decimal numbers. And like I said in class, children, don't worry about decimal numbers. Don't be afraid of them. You're doing exactly the same as you are when you're doing long multiplication. The only difference here is that you've got a decimal point here. Now, if you remember what I said within class, if the decimal number wasn't there, you would quite happily work out 245 times 23. So what you can do is, when you're using your written method, is leave a decimal point out and put it where you know your answer is going to do to start off with. Then effectively you're multiplying 245 by 23. So let's have a look. Again, bigger number on the top, our symbol of what we are doing, and 23 here. Now I could put 2.3, or I don't necessarily need to. I'll put the decimal point in here just to show you. What I can do is when my answer is here, if I put my decimal point in the right column, I won't forget it when I'm working out my answer. So let's have a look then. 3 times 5 is 15, carry over the 1. 4 times 3 is 12, plus a 1 is 13, carry over the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus a 1 is 7. Exactly the same, because I'm now multiplying by a larger number. I need to put my place value holder in. And again, if you've noticed, I've used a red pen there just to remind yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be red, it could be a different colour if you wish to. Let's have a look then. 2 times 5 is 10, carry over the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus a 1 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. Now I've multiplied all those digits together, I now need to add up my 2 columns. Put my addition sign here to remind myself what I'm doing. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 0 is 3. 9 plus 7 is 16. So we carry our 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. Now, because I've already put my decimal place in even before I started multiplying the digits, I don't have to worry about it. So the answer to 245 times 2.3 is 563.5. And you're probably going to guess what I'm going to say next. When you put your decimal point in, make it nice and clear. So, that is long multiplication using a formal written method. Children, like I said last week, have a real good go at the questions set over the course of a week. They're all going to be based around this area. Re-watch the video if you need any assistance. There's lots of really good stuff on the internet as well. One little top